Hi, I'm Chris Poole, and I heard that you're planning to be a table topics master at an upcoming meeting. I've been a member for quite a few years, and this is my absolute favorite role to hold. And I want to share with you some of the tips and tidbits that I've learned through the years when I sign up to do this role. First, when you are planning to be the table topics master, find out if there's a meeting theme. Try and tie in some of your questions with that meeting theme. You don't always have to be serious, and it doesn't have to be a drama full of questions. This is a chance to have fun, be creative. As our Toastmasters founder, Ralph Smedley, said, we learn best in moments of enjoyment. Take advantage of the joy that we can have in table topics. You can ask specific questions. You can pose a scenario. You can take a Dear Abby column and ask the respondent to give their advice. There are questions. If you Google table topics questions, you can come up with lists. There's a list of 365 questions to ask. There are cards, playing cards with different topics that you can use. They have different balls that have different topics on different spots. It looks like a soccer ball. There are so many opportunities for you as a table topics master to pose questions. Keep in mind though, as table topics master, this is not just you speaking. This is your opportunity to give all the other members and guests in the club an opportunity to speak. At every meeting, we want to try and have as many members talk, even if it is just that 1 to 2 minutes that we have here in table topics. When you are calling on someone, my suggestion is that you pose your question and then ask for a volunteer or pick someone. Why do you ask? If you tell someone, Kathy, you're going to be giving our next table topics response. Most times, Kathy is going to be the only one listening to your question and starting to formulate a response. If you pose the question to everyone and then ask for a volunteer, everyone starts to formulate their response because they don't know if you are going to call on them. That is a key part of Table Topics Master that I believe will help you succeed in this role. You need to have enough questions to fill the amount of time that you have on the agenda. Depending on where Table Topics falls in your agenda, at Cream City, we do Table Topics near the end of our meeting. This gives us the flexibility that if we have our speakers and evaluators running overtime and we don't want to end our meeting late, we'll have fewer respondents. If we have a speaker who canceled and now we have more time for table topics, we can fill in and extend to make sure that we fill our entire meeting time. If your club happens to have table topics at the beginning of the meeting, you have to stick to that specific time frame on the agenda. You don't want to have that section go over at all. If you are a table topics master, I want you to look at pathways. What path have you chosen? There are several of the paths where the project of active listening is a required project, and then there are a couple of projects where it is an elective that you can choose. Active listening requires you to be the table topics master. Normally, as a table topics master, you're not giving a whole lot of explanations or answering the questions yourself. It again is up to the speakers to respond. But in the active listening project, you're listening to those responses and then summarizing what was told. That gives you credit as both the table topics master for a functionary leadership role and a completion of one of your paths projects. So keep that in mind, active listening for when you're holding the table topics master role. I encourage you to have some fun. If you have more questions on the table topics master role, I encourage you to go to the Cream City website under our public downloads. Scroll all the way to the bottom and we have a file called A Toastmaster Wears Many Hats. This is not a reference tool for you to sit down, read, and memorize, but for you to refer to when you sign up for a specific meeting role and refresh your memory on how you hold that specific role. It gives a great overview of what you do to prepare for the meet or prepare for your role ahead of time and what you do during the meeting, and sometimes if there's any follow-up after the meeting. A Toastmaster wears many hats. This is a fabulous resource for you to use. I encourage you to sign up to be a Table Topics Master at your next meeting. Have some fun. I hope to hear how you've done, what kind of questions or situations you posed, and enjoy. Thank you so much. We will hear you soon.